All right, the other way we could solve this is by completing the square. To get it in the form, if you remember an earlier video, another form is a times x minus h squared plus k. And the vertex is the point hk. Again, that is explained in the first video in this section. So we complete the square on this. F of x equals x squared minus 4x. Let me just leave a little space to complete the square. Now to complete the square, we take half of the number in front of x and square it. Half of negative 4 is negative 2, and negative 2 squared is positive 4. So I add 4. I could add 4 to both sides, but notice when I subtract this 4, when I move it to this side, it just becomes a minus 4. Now notice, let me explain this another way. So what we did here was, if I add 4 to one side, I can compensate by subtracting 4 from the same side, because this is like adding 0, and 0 plus anything, it doesn't change the value. So that's why you can add and subtract the same number on one side. All right, so now what is this f of x equal to? Well, as we learned in earlier videos, this always factors 2x plus half of this number is negative 2. It's going to factor to that. This adds up to a minus 16. So the vertex, keep in mind we have x minus h. H is positive 2. So the vertex is x is positive 2. Y is this number at the end here, negative 16. It's the same thing we got doing it the other way, using minus b over 2a. So then, what we would do next is plot the vertex. 2, and then down here somewhere is negative 16. Yeah. Then we want to know where does it cross the x-axis. In other words, where is this equal to 0? All right, we could set this equal to 0. Let me do that. Since we did this, I could set this to 0. I'm going to get the same answer, because this is just a different form of this. So let's take x minus 2 squared minus 16. Let y equal 0, so this is 0. And when we let y equal 0, y is 0 here, we're going to find out what the values of x are where it crosses. So we're going to use the square root property. When I add 16 to both sides, we get this. When you use the square root property, take the square root. The square root of x squared and the square root and x squared cancel each other. Don't forget your plus and minus when you take the square root of a square. And the square root of 16 is 4. Here, when I add 2 to both sides, we get x equals 2 plus and minus 4. Now that means there's two answers. One answer is 2 plus 4, which is 6. The other answer is 2 minus 4, which is negative 2. So we know this crosses the graph at negative 2 and at 1, 2, 3, 4, and at 6. So the graph of this parabola, just like we got in the other video, is going to look something, this is rounded. It's going to look something like that.